Good afternoon. I welcome you all to this session on information systems in business today. Today, we will discuss one of the most interesting trends in the IT world, which revolutionized information systems. In the 1980s, the traditional data approach was dumped for a modern approach, which is called as the database approach, which we will discuss at length in today's session and in the next session. The database is the core of any information system. The database, along with the database management system, forms the fulcrum of every information systems today. This forms the foundation for a range of technologies for which the umbrella term is called as business intelligence. So the database is the technology which revolutionized the information system world in the 1980s. Prior to that, data was saved through various programming languages in traditional files, but after the conference, the CodaCell conference, it was known that the traditional file approach cannot be used anymore. So the modern approach was adopted. So today we will take a look at data and information and databases. We will discuss the business benefits of high quality information, storing the information in a particular data model called as the relational database model, which uses the relational database management system. Using a relational database, what advantages do businesses derive out of it, and driving websites with data. Apart from this, we will also try to take a look, if time permits, the term business intelligence, the umbrella term used for a range of technologies which support decisions with business intelligence. The business benefits of a larger and intelligent database called as data warehousing, and the power of big data analytics. As we all know that information is everywhere in an organization. Employees, therefore, must be able to obtain and analyze the many different levels, formats, and granularities of organizational information to make decisions. Granularity very often refers to the extent of detail within the information, whether it is fine in detail or coarse or abstract information that we need to know. So successfully collecting, compiling, sorting, and analyzing information can provide tremendous insights into how an organization is performing. It can have an image of itself. It can have a good idea about the products it is producing. It can also have an idea of how it is doing vis-a-vis its competitors. So a successful collection, compilation, sorting, and analyzing of information is very important to derive insights. This particular diagram shows the various levels, formats, and granularities of organizational information. If you take a look, the organization is a pyramidal structure. It has various information levels, it has various information formats, and it uses information in different granularities. Individuals, departments, and enterprise, they use information for supporting individual knowledge, goals, and strategies, for departmental goals, revenues, expenses, processes, and strategies. And they use information in various formats, as documents, as presentations, as spreadsheet, and finally as databases. Uh, Organizations, managers use letters, memos, faxes, emails, reports, marketing materials, and training materials. They also collect information regarding their product, strategy, process, financial, customer, and competitors. They collect information in various formats for their sales, marketing, industry, financial competitors, customers, and order spreadsheets. And they also use information formats to keep track of customers, employees, sales, orders, suppliers, and manufacturer data. Information can come at different levels of granularities. It can be fine, it can be summarized, it can come in aggregate form or a coarse form. So when managers use the information granularities in various granularities, they use it to design reports for each salesperson, product and part. They design reports for all salesperson, all products and all parts. They also come up with reports across departments, organizations, and companies. Information, as all of you know, when data is processed and put into a meaningful context, when data is of value, it is called as information. Information can come in various levels, formats, and granularities. That's what we discussed. You should also know that information can be of various types. Information can be transactional. Information can be analytical. The transactional information basically encompasses all of the information contained within a single business process or unit of work. And its primary process is to support the performing of daily operational tasks. Whereas analytical information encompasses all organizational information and its primary purpose is to support the performing of managerial analysis tasks. I can give you an example of transactional information. Transactional information includes withdrawal cash from an ATM, making an airline reservation, purchasing stocks, compiling a list of data about your operations. So the daily sales, hourly employee payroll, product orders, shipping an order, all this can form your transactional information. All this form the transactional information. Now, an example, a range of example for analytical information. Analytical information includes transactional information. Analytical information also includes external organizational information such as the market, industry, and economic conditions. Analytical information is used to make ad hoc decisions. That's why these are very sought after. Analytical information can include trends, sales, product statistics, and future growth projections. Having said this, we will take a look at how a database supports both types of information. A database generates transactional information. A database can generate also analytical information. Sales receipts, airline ticket, packaging slip, all these are transactional information. But when after analysis, using mathematical routines, when the database generates product statistics, sales projections, trends, future growth, it's called as analytical information. Organizations, basically, what they do is they capture and store transactional information in databases, and use it when performing operational tasks and repetitive decisions. such as analyzing daily sales reports and production schedules. Uh, Basically, uh, analytical information is widely used for ad hoc decision making within a business. And this might include building a new plant, hiring or reducing workforces, introducing a new product. We can get a very good idea of all this from analytical information. This particular diagram shows the four primary traits of the value of information. Information that you use in your decision making should be of value. How do you test that the information that you are using is of value? You need to check that the information that is used for planning, coordinating, organizing, decision making, or any other managerial activity, it should come with these four traits. Uh, the first trait is the information type. Information type. Uh, the second trait is that information should come in the right time. Information should come with the right quality, and information should come with the right content and form. Now, looking at each of these aspects of information, first let us take a look, after discussing the information types, let us take a look at the information timeliness. It is an important characteristics of the information that you use in decision making to generate value. Timeliness is an aspect of information that depends on the situation. Real-time information is immediate and up-to-date information generated by real-time systems. The real-time systems provide real-time information in response to requests. Okay. Information quality is the next aspect that you need to keep in mind for improving decision. Business decisions are only as good as the quality of information used to make the decisions. You never want to find yourself using technology to help you make a bad decision faster, which indicates that there has been information inconsistency, there has been information integrity issues. Now, when does these issues arise? Information inconsistency occurs when the same data element has different values. Take, for example, the amount of work that needs to occur to update a customer who had changed her last name due to her marriage. Changing this information in only a few organizational systems, will lead to data inconsistencies, causing a particular customer to be associated with the last two names. Information integrity issues occur when a system produces incorrect, inconsistent, or duplicate data. So data integrity issues can cause managers to consider the system reports invalid and can make decisions based on other sources. Information quality further should have these typical characteristics. It should be accurate, complete, consistent, and unique and timely. Accuracy is the characteristics of high quality information because you need to know whether all the values are correct. For example, is the name spelled correctly? Is the amount, money amount recorded properly? Completeness checks if there are any of the values missing from the record. So consistency talks about, is it aggregate or summary information which is in agreement with the detailed information? For example, do all total fields equal the true total of the individual fields? Uniqueness is each transaction that you make, is each transaction entity and event represented only once in the information. It checks that. And uniqueness is the characteristics in which we check if in each transaction the entity and event represented is only once, and are there any duplicates? If there are duplicates, then we need to remove it. Timeliness, the information that you are using for planning, organizing, directing, controlling all managerial activities, is the information current with respect to the business requirements? Is the information being updated daily, weekly, or hourly? That you need to check. So we need to check for information accuracy, completeness, consistency, uniqueness, and timeliness, apart from the right content, right form, and the right time it should have come to you for supporting all your managerial activity. This shows an example of a low quality information. You can see that there are missing information, there are incomplete information, and there are probable duplicacies, duplicate information. There are potential wrong information that has been inputted, and there is incomplete information. All this can lead to low quality information, which should be avoided. Understanding the cause of using low quality information, there are four primary sources. There are four primary sources. There are four primary sources. There are four primary sources of low quality information. Customers intentionally enter inaccurate information to protect their privacy. When you follow different entry standards and formats, you have low quality information. When operators enter abbreviated or erroneous information by accident or to save time, you have low quality information. When third party and external information contains inconsistencies, inaccuracies, and errors, you have low quality information. Next is, we need to understand the cause of using low quality information. It can be hazardous for us to run the show called business. If we don't understand the cause that are included in the low quality information that you are using. Potential business effects resulting from low quality information may include apart from all these four primary sources of low quality information, it may also include inability to accurately track customers, difficulty in identifying valuable customers, inability to identify selling opportunities, marketing to non-existent customers, difficulty in tracking revenue, inability to build strong customer relationships. So this can be costly and very hazardous for every business. We should be in a position to do data gap analysis, whether we are using low quality information or the right quality of information in all our managerial activities. A good manager should do a proper data gap analysis, and the gap occurs when a company examines its data to determine if it can meet business expectations from as is to be. This is the gap that needs to be covered. While identifying these gaps, you need to also keep track of missing data, which might exist in the recording of the data. High quality information. High quality information can significantly improve the chances of making high quality information can significantly improve the chances of making a good decision. Good decisions can directly impact an organization's bottom line. A data steward or a data manager is responsible for ensuring data policies and procedures, and they should be implemented across an organization in a standard format. Information governance talks about data governance, talks about master data management and data validation. Data that comes into the organization should be governed properly. That means it refers to the overall management of the availability, usability, integrity, and security of company data. Apart from the various data bases or the data that comes into the organization, master data management is a must. This is a practice of gathering data and ensuring that it is uniform, accurate, consistent, and complete, which may include such entities as customers, suppliers, products, sales, employees, and other critical entities that are commonly integrated across organizational systems. Data validation needs to be done for the data that is being managed, which may include the tests and evaluations used to determine compliance with data governance policies to ensure correctness of data. Whenever data comes into a business organization, it can, earlier it was saved in hierarchical and network data models, but today data is saved in relational database models or relational data models. And these models provide many advantages to all business organizations. Information is stored in rows and columns, and it is stored in a logical fashion. So a set of logically related data is called as a database. So you need to understand the data hierarchy before we can get into a discussion of a database. Data that can be processed by a computer comes in bits of zeros and ones. A collection of 8 bits forms your byte, and a collection of related bytes forms your field. A collection of related fields forms your records, and a collection of related records forms your files, and a collection of logically related files forms your database. So information basically is stored in databases. So databases basically maintain information about various types of objects or entities or events or people and places. So you can see that it is a repository which stores all the information regarding customers, orders, products, distributors, being managed and manipulated by a set of application programs, which allows the user to create, read, update, and delete data in a relational database by the user. When we store information in a relational database, The data is stored as a data element. That is the smallest or basic unit of information that is stored in a database. Data models can be logical and physical, but initially when data comes into the organization, it gets stored in logical data structures, wherein we have a very good idea of the entities, their detailed relationship that exist, and their attributes. So data models are nothing but logical data structures that detail the relationships among data elements using graphics or pictures. Data about data can be saved in metadata, and it's in other words called as a data dictionary. It compiles all of the metadata about the data elements in the data model. So, as I have already told you, data in databases are stored in rows and columns. Data about an entity is stored in a database. So, an entity is nothing but a person, place, thing, transaction, or event about which information is stored. The rows in a table contain entities. Attributes are the fields or the columns in a database. So the data elements associated with an entity, the columns in each table contain the attributes like the student name, age, qualification, all that. When you have the rows and columns, the rows are the records, the columns are the fields, and the records and the fields together form the file. And a set of files, a set of related files we term as the database. And each entity can be connected to other entities through keys. Either you can be connected to other database tables or databases through a primary key, which is unique. It identifies the entity uniquely in the database. A primary key is nothing but a field or a group of fields that uniquely identifies a given entity in a table. In a student database, the student roll number or the registration number is a unique key. That field is called as the primary key. But at times, we may also look for other keys like the foreign key, which partially describes a database table. Like your last name, it can be a foreign key. The primary key of a table can be the foreign key in another table. And that's how a table is connected with another table, or a table is linked to another table. So if we want to know which are the faculties which teach different courses to different students. So faculty, course, and student can be three different database tables, and they can be connected through the primary keys and the foreign keys to pick up information out of these three tables. This particular shows the business advantages of a relational data model. That is the most popular data model that is widely used by businesses. You will see that the relational data model as compared to the hierarchical data model or the network data model has increased flexibility, has increased scalability and performance, has reduced information redundancy, has increased information integrity, and last but not the least, which is very, very important for organization, is that relational databases have increased information security. This is the reason why businesses install RDBMS and encourage managers to learn and use RDBMS to carry out their managerial activities. A well-designed database, like a relational database, should handle changes quickly and easily. It should provide users with different views, have only one physical view, like uh, in order to deal with the physical storage of information on a storage device, you should have one physical view, uh, and you can have multiple logical views. Like students can have a view, faculties can have a view, staffs can have a view to the same database. So multiple logical views, they focus on how individual users logically access information to meet their own particular business needs. A database must scale to meet increased demand while maintaining acceptable performance levels. This talks about the increased scalability and performance that a particular data model should have, which the relational data model has. Scalability basically refers to how well a system can adapt to increased demands, and performance talks about measures. It measures how quickly a system performs a certain process or transaction. So databases basically reduce information redundancy. That's why they are widely used. Information redundancy is about the duplication of data or storing the same information in multiple places. And this can cause a lot of problems. This can be a costly affair. This can take time. We need to minimize redundancy while designing a database. Data redundancy can lead to data inconsistency, which is another primary problem with redundant information. Information integrity in a relational data model, as you have seen, is very high. It measures the quality of information. And integrity constraint are the rules that need to be there for improving the quality of information. You need to have relational integrity constraints inbuilt into the database. You need to have business critical integrity constraints built into the business database. Information security should be high because businesses use information that are secure. Information is an organizational asset. All of us know that it is a valuable organizational asset and must be protected. And databases, that two relational databases, offer several security features. That's why they are widely used. You can have passwords, which provides authentication of the user. You can have different access levels. You can provide, you can grant different access levels to different users to a particular database, because the access level determines who has access to the different types of information. And also databases offer security features of access control that determines the types of user access, such as whether you have read-only or read-write or both. Today, we drive websites with data. So data-driven websites are nothing but an interactive website that keeps constantly updated, that is kept constantly updated and relevant to the needs of its customers using a database. So the content creator is important, the content editor is important, static information is important, dynamic information is to be there, dynamic catalog is to be there, apart from the website that has been designed to be used. This shows for a different, for a company, how a data-driven website is designed and it works. So the results are thrown onto the screen or the website after the query is searched and the result is generated. Japos is an online shoe retailer. It runs its business through a data-driven website. So data-driven websites have many advantages. They are easy to manage content, easy to store large amounts of data, and easy to eliminate human errors. That's why they have become today very, very popular with organizations to run their show. Uh, this is a particular example of a web page wherein business intelligence is generated in a data-driven website. Databases normally are dumb storehouses just to store and record data in rows and columns to assist in our decision making or in various other activities, managerial activities. But today, as organizations compete in a competitive business environment, they are looking for intelligent databases or large storehouses of data which can be manipulated using mathematical routines. So the intelligent databases or the huge repositories are called as data warehouses. They are an extension of a database. So data warehouses extend the transformation of data into information. In the 1990s, executives became less concerned with day-to-day business operations and more concerned with overall business functions. So it's here where the data warehouse started playing an important role. The data warehouses provided ability to support decision making without disrupting the day-to-day operations. As I told you, a data warehouse is primarily different from a database. The primary difference between a database and data warehouse is that a database stores information for a single application, whereas a data warehouse stores information from multiple databases or multiple applications and external information such as industry information. So a data warehouse, as I earlier told you, that it is a larger database, it's a thinking database, it's nothing but a logical collection of information gathered from many different operational databases that supports business analysis activities and decision-making tasks. So the primary purpose of a data warehouse is to aggregate information throughout an organization into a single repository for decision-making purpose. So reasons business analysis is difficult from operational databases is shown on this screen, which talks about inconsistent data definitions, lack of data standards, poor data quality, inadequate data usefulness, ineffective direct data access can play havoc on business analysis. All of these can play a detrimental role in running an organization. Inconsistent data definitions, every department has its own method for recording data. So when trying to share information, if the data does not match and if the users do not get the data they really need, you have inconsistent data definitions. When managers needed to perform cross-functional analysis using data from all departments, which differ in granularity, formats, and levels, then there is a lack of data standards in the organization. The data, if available, if it were often be incorrect or incomplete, then you have a poor data quality in the organization. Therefore, users will not be able to rely on the data if it is of poor quality to make their decisions. Users cannot get the data they needed. Then it shows that there is inadequate data in the organization and it is not useful also. What was collected was not always useful for internet purpose, then it's a waste. Most data stored in operational databases, if they do not allow users direct access, or when users have to wait to have their queries or questions answered by MIS professionals who could code SQL, it means that you have ineffective direct data access. People have to be dependent on experts to generate responses for their queries. Apart from databases and data warehouses, organizations also have data marts. What are data marts? Data marts are nothing but you need to, these are specialized databases, function specific databases uh, where data aggregation happens. That means collection of data from various sources for the purpose of data processing happens. Then a three-stage process is carried out on the marts to generate quality information. Extraction of the information is done, transformation of the quality information is done, and loading of the quality information into the data warehouses is done so that you can derive insights. So ETL is a popular process that extracts information from internal and external databases and transforms the information using a common set of enterprise definitions and loads the information into a data warehouse. So data marts are basically functional specific databases which contain a subset of the data warehouse information. So this particular diagram shows the data warehouse model. Internal databases and external databases are subjected to ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading. And data warehouses are huge repositories running intelligent agents, handling marketing information, inventory information, sales information, billing information, competitor information, industry, mailing list, stock market analysis is done. Again, you do ETL, extraction, transformation, loading to the data stored in a data warehouse to generate, as I told you, function-specific databases like marketing databases, inventory databases, sales databases, storing quality function-specific data to be used by the managers in that particular department or other departments. So an organization must maintain high quality data in the data warehouses. Dirty data needs to be dumped. That is, erroneous or flawed data should be removed from databases or data warehouses. And you need to, in order to do that, you need to get involved in information cleansing or scrubbing. It's a process that weeds out or takes out and fixes or discards inconsistent, incorrect, or incomplete information. So this is a must before the quality information can be used for managerial activities that are stored in databases manipulated by relational database management systems. So this shows the dirty data that needs to be removed from the organizational databases. Duplicate data is considered to be dirty data. Misleading data can also be considered as dirty data. Incorrect data, non-formatted data, non-integrated data, inaccurate data, and data that violates the business rules can also be termed as dirty data. This shows how operational systems in various functional areas store the data, the function-specific data in particular databases, function-specific databases. You need to standardize a customer name in an operational system so that it can be combined with other databases to generate customer information. Data cleansing is a must. That is the first activity before data can be recorded or stored in databases or data warehouses. Missing records or attributes need to be removed. Redundant records should be removed. Missing keys or other required data needs to be incorporated. Erroneous relations or references must be removed. Inaccurate or incomplete data needs to be removed before the data can be saved in data warehouses or databases. So if you are using low quality data that has been saved in a database, then it can cost you much. Okay, so data which is inaccurate, which is incomplete, can lead to high costs. Once we have discussed the foundational concepts of a database, next let us move to business intelligence. All of us know that organizational data is difficult to access. Organizational data contains structured data in a database. That means in a particular format, in rows and columns, data is saved in databases. We also have known that organizational data contains today not just data that can be saved in a particular format within rows and columns. Today, databases can store unstructured data. That means videos can be saved, audio can be saved, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and social media posts can be saved as it is. So that kind of data is called as unstructured data, and those data can also be stored in databases. So organizational data today contains not just structured data, it can also contain unstructured data such as voicemails, phone calls, text messages, and video clips to help managers in carrying out their activities. You need to know as a database manager what are data points. An individual item on a graph or a chart is called a data point. Data brokers, they manage databases and data warehouses. A business collects personal information about consumers and sells that information to other organizations. So this is done through the data brokers. You can also come face to face with a data lake, that is a storage repository that records or holds a vast amount of raw data in its original format until the business needs it. Many organizations find themselves in the position of being data rich and information poor. And this can be a big problem or a big challenge. Even in today's electronic world, managers struggle with the challenge of turning their business data into business intelligence. So improving the quality of business decision has a direct impact on cost and revenue of an organization. Business intelligence enables business users to receive data for analysis that is reliable, consistent, understandable, easily manipulated. This shows how BI can answer tough customer questions. If the questions are why are sales below target, it can provide an answer because we sold less in a particular region. Why did we sell less in that particular region? Because sales of product X dropped. Why did X sales drop? Because customer complaints increased in that region. Why did customer complaints increase? Because late deliveries went up by a considerable percentage. Okay. So the solution for such problems is that you need to do competitive monitoring. A company needs to keep tab of its competitors' activities on the web using software that automatically tracks all competitor website activities such as discounts and new products, and need to change its strategy. Managers handle data maps. Data maps are nothing but a technique for establishing a match or balance between the source data and the target data warehouse. Managers also need to manage their decisions which are data driven. So data driven decision management is nothing but an approach followed by managers to business governance that values decisions that can be backed up with verifiable data. Today, it is not just small data that is stored in small databases or in rows and columns or in structured format. Today, organizations use a huge amount of data that comes in various shapes and sizes and in various formats. It need not be structured only. Data can be semi-structured and unstructured. So data can be generated out of not just recording, but it can be generated out of sensors, RFIDs, can generate, or it can be machine generated. Not just humans generate data, but today machines also generate data. So storing these kinds of voluminous data can be done not in small databases, but in larger databases. When data comes in semi-structured and unstructured formats, when it is having a number of varieties, comes from a variety of sources, comes with large volumes, comes with high speed, we call that data as big data. So big data is nothing but a collection of large complex data sets, which includes structured and unstructured data, which cannot be analyzed using traditional database methods or OLAP, and tools, and includes the following 4 common characteristics: variety, veracity, volume, and velocity. Now, this shows the difference, the distinction between structured data and unstructured data. Sensor data, weblog data, financial data, clickstream data, point of sale data, accounting data can fall under structured data, which has a format. And data, when it is semi-formatted or is not in a particular format, which cannot be saved in a particular format, is called as unstructured data. So satellite images, photographic data, video data, social media data, text messages, voicemail data can all be categorized as unstructured data. The power of big data along with analytics comes from these 2 primary computing models. Number 1, distributive computing. The second one is virtualization. In distributed computing, processes and algorithms are managed across many machines in a computing environment. And virtualization is another key aspect wherein managers create virtual versions of computing resources such as an operating system, a server, a storage device, or network resources to handle these huge quantities of data that comes in to the organization. This shows the focus areas of big data for businesses. Whenever you are involved in big data analytics, you will be involved in data mining, data analysis, and data visualization. These are 3 buzzwords which greatly improve the power of big data. Various data mining techniques can be incorporated to generate insights from the recorded data. Data mining is basically the process of analyzing data to extract information into information not offered by the raw data alone. The 3 elements of data mining include data, discovery, and deployment. Data forms the foundation for data-directed decision-making. So quality data is important. Discovery, knowledge. In order to discover knowledge, you need to go through the process of identifying new patterns, trends, and insights. Deployment. This is another interesting element of data mining, which includes the process of implementing discoveries to drive success. The data mining process model basically shows how data is important for an understanding of the business, for an understanding of the data, to prepare the data, to model the data, to evaluate the data, and to deploy the database for carrying out effective managerial roles and the managerial functions. So data profiling need to be done, data replication is to be done, which needs to be used for recommendations. So the data mining analysis techniques are very, very popular, wherein the process of collecting statistics and information about data in an existing source is done by data profiling. The process of sharing information to ensure consistency between multiple data sources is done through data replication. Uh, as a manager, you may be dependent on a recommendation engine. It's nothing but a data mining algorithm that analyzes a customer's purchases and actions on a website and then uses the data to recommend complementary products. So this, in short, shows the various other data mining techniques that you can use in order to benefit in an organization. You can do estimation analysis, you can do cluster analysis, you can do classification analysis, and you can do affinity analysis. So the data mining tools use a variety of techniques to find patterns and relationships in large volumes of information that predict future behavior and guide decision making. Data mining basically is used by managers to uncover patterns and trends such as building budgets and other financial information, detecting fraud by identifying deceptive spending patterns, finding the best customers who spend the most money, to keep customers from leaving or migrating to competitors, to promote and hire employees to ensure success. One of the most important data mining techniques is prediction. A statement about what will happen or might happen in the future can be derived. We can predict future sales or employee turnover by employing data mining to the data stored in data warehouses. Prediction modeling techniques may include regression, forecasting, and optimization. So this shows how multidimensional analysis on 3 stores for 5 products and 4 promotions is carried out using data mining. So advanced data analytics may include various algorithms or mathematical formulas which are placed in software that performs an analysis on a data set. The data mining algorithms help to uncover anomaly detection, helps in identifying outliers, and for performing analysis paralysis. Now, what do they mean? This means that when you are involved in anomaly detection, the process of identifying rare or unexpected items or events in a data set is carried out that do not conform to other items in the data set. You can remove outliers that are there in the data set using the advanced data analytics techniques. You can also carry out or perform analysis paralysis. Data scientists are today involved in behavioral analysis, correlation analysis, exploratory data analysis, pattern recognition analysis, social media analysis, speech analysis, text analysis, and web analysis, and can benefit out of it. So today we took a look at databases, data warehouses, data marts, and the importance of business intelligence for an organization, and how we can take ourselves from a good understanding of data to data analysis to data analytics. That is the highest level to derive insights for carrying out managerial activities within the organizations. Thank you.